After the nucleus.
After the nucleus.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, plastids.
Plastids.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we have to do the plastids. Or we have done it. This I have to do? Okay. So talking about plastids, so just like how mitochondria is a double membrane structure, it has two membranes, right? Same way, the plastids, they also have two membranes. One will be the outer membrane and one will be the inner membrane. Now, all the plants and algae, they contain the plastids. Okay? Plastids will be contained by all the plants and all the algae, meaning all the photosynthetic cells that are there, they will be containing the plastids. Now, plastids are of two types. The general common way the plastids are present, they are of two types. One is the chromoplast and one is the leucoplast. Now, chromo, the name that you're seeing over here, chromo is representing that it is what kind of color? Some kind of color is there in that particular plastid. So, the plastids that are colored are known as chromoplast. And the plastids that are colorless, they do not have any color in the cell, they are known as the colorless or the leucoplast. So the chromoplast, they are colored plastids, whereas the leucoplast, they are colorless or white colored plastids. Now, the chromoplast which contains the green color, that is known as the chloroplast. And what is this green color? It is the chlorophyll. So it is the green colored pigment. Everyone knows that it is the pigment. And why
Yes,
is
ma'am.
this? Yes, very good.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
why is this chlorophyll pigment necessary?
And for photosynthesis.
Exactly, for
Photosynthesis.
photosynthesis. Exactly. Now, talking about the chlorophyll, it is important for photosynthesis. And what is photosynthesis? Can anyone explain photosynthesis to me?
And the process by which the plants make the glucose is known as photosynthesis.
Exactly. And the process, you can say that the process by which plants make their own food is known as photosynthesis. Now, what do they use? They use carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll for this process of photosynthesis. Now, apart from the chloroplast, or you can say apart from the chromoplast which contains the color chlorophyll, there are many other that contains other kind of colors in them, such as the orange pigment. So whenever any chromoplast is carrying the orange pigment, then we call it, see, that kind of pigment is carotenoid. Just like how the green pigment was chlorophyll, same way the orange pigment is carotenoid. Then there are some chloroplasts that also carry the yellow color. So this yellow colored chloroplast, are the color yellow pigment, is known as the xanthophyll. So now you know that the pigment and their names and the color. If I say chlorophyll, so you'll understand that they are green in color. If I say carotenoids, then you'll understand they are orange in color. And if I say xanthophylls, then you'll understand that they are yellow in color. This much is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, did you people like have your test here?
I'm a bio.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes. Have
ma'am,
you had the test or no?
ma'am, can I check?
No, no. Like, have you given
Ma'am,
the test?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you have
I've
given
given
the
it.
test, right? Hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. So, in how did your test go, students? How was the test?
And it
It
went
was
good.
easy.
It was easy. Did you face any difficulties while answering the questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, so see, regarding the test only, I have some things that I need to tell you people. For example, if we are talking about, like I am telling you how to solve the questions. Okay. Also, everyone, switch on your videos. I sometimes forget to ask this. Switch on your videos, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
See, the first is MCQs questions, right? First 10 questions are the MCQs. Everyone has had this? Okay. Now see, what happens in MCQ? For example, there is one question and now you're writing the answer for it, right? So I have seen in many papers that you people have done it very nicely, that whatever, for example, A, B, C, D, whatever is the option. So if the answer for question number 1 is option A, then you just don't have to write A. You have to write whatever option is written in the A option. Okay, so whatever is the answer, apart from writing the A, B, C, D, you have to write whatever is written there. For example, the answer is photosynthesis. So you have to write A, photosynthesis, meaning option A, and what is given at option A? So photosynthesis is given. Clear? This is how you will be solving the MCQ questions. Now, after that comes the 2 marks question, right? The short answer question. Now, tell me, students, was there any kind of question that you people did not were not able to solve, or something that gave you trouble? Any question of that sort? What
Ma'am,
was
not
your
in particular.
hmm? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, your portion was cell introduction, different types of cell, plasma membrane, cell wall, and nucleus, right? Up till nucleus, it was there in your test, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hmm. So, see, I was telling you, for example, if the question is for 2 marks, okay, and for 2 marks question, you don't have to write big answers. Okay, very huge answers are not at all required for 2 marks question. You can write the answers, for example, 4 lines, 5 lines, that are actually like right and descriptive lines that you can write down, but not the whole page or a big paragraph. It's not necessary for 2 marks question. Another thing, for example, if the question says, who, like one question was there, who gave cell theory, right? This question was there, who gave cell theory? Now, in the questions like these, for example, who gave the cell theory, then your answer shouldn't be like Skliden and Swan full stop. Do you think this is the answer?
No, ma'am.
If I write just like this, Skliden and Swan, do you think it is the right answer? I mean, the answer as to who gave the cell theory is correct, but this is not how you write the answer. You will write, cell theory was given by Skliden and Swan. You have to write a full sentence, because whenever you write in a test, you have to formulate a proper sentence with full stops and everything. So pay attention to that, because here we can check, but in your schools, when you will give the exams, your marks will be cut in that way. Okay. So be careful for that. Don't just write to the point. If it is like, for example, the question is, what is photosynthesis? So then what do you write? The process by it is the process by which green plants make their own food. No. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis refers to the, or you can write it like, the process by which the green plants make their own food is known as photosynthesis. That becomes a full sentence, a proper sentence. But if you just write it as a process, no, you have to formulate a very good answer. Now, this was for 2 marks questions. Now, when we are talking about 5 marks question, now 5 marks question means you have to write a little bit more. You can't answer 5 marks question like 2 marks question, right? Now for 5 marks question, another thing to keep in mind, for example, there is photosynthesis again as 5 marks. It's write notes about photosynthesis. So do you think just giving the definition of photosynthesis is enough for 5 marks? No, right? For these kind of questions, or for the questions that have 5 marks, what you can do, first you define photosynthesis. Then do you remember that there is usually like a reaction also given for photosynthesis, but it's not there for you people. I'm just saying, for example, let's just say cell theory. If the question comes from cell theory for 5 marks, now if you just say that the cell theory was given by Skliden and Swan, do you think it's enough? No.
No, ma'am.
What you will do, you will say that cell theory was given by Skliden and Swan, then you'll mention the points of the cell theory, like whatever points are there in that particular topic or the theory, you will mention that, and then that it will become a 5 marks question. Okay, so write according to the marks. And yeah, most like none of you have written anything rubbish. So I am like tension free from that point of view, but I'm just telling you how should you answer the questions. Okay. So now in the like from the next test, you people will have a clear cut idea as to how much I should write. And if it is a 10 marks question, then just think about you'll be writing every single thing in that. 10 marks and 2 lines, not at all sufficing. Okay. This much is clear to everyone, how to write the answers and how to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. Okay. Hmm. So we know that the function of the chloroplast, since it contains the chlorophyll, would be photosynthesis. Now moving on to leucoplast, what does it do? Since it has no pigment, it is colorless and it is white mostly. So what do we like? What does the leucoplast do? So it does the process of storage of materials like starch, oils, storage of protein granules. Okay, so leucoplasts being colorless, they will store stuff. Either it will store the starch, oils, and the protein granules. Now moving on to towards the chloroplast and its structure. Okay, now chloroplast, it is the like it has inside it the stroma. Okay, stroma is the enclosed space and it is the structure in which many membrane layers are embedded. For example, just like how if this is a cell and this is the nucleus. So this part that was there, it was the cytoplasm, isn't it? So this was the part that was enclosed by the plasma membrane, right? Same way, when we are talking about the chloroplast, okay, inside the chloroplast, there will be the membranes, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Now, this space that is enclosed by the membrane will be the stroma of the chloroplast, okay? And inside the stroma, there will be multiple tiny structures that are there, such as thylakoids and you can say this thing, grana, and all of these structures will be there. But these are not something that you people have to study now. Just understand that stroma is the enclosed space by the two membranes of the chloroplast. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the chloroplasts, they are also known as semi-autonomous. Why? Now, which other organelle is also known as semi-autonomous? Apart from chloroplast?
Ma'am, it's a chloroplast and mitochondria.
Exactly. Chloroplast and mitochondria. These are the two organelles that are known as semi-autonomous. And there is a reason. They have their own DNA and they have their own ribosomes. Just like how the DNA is present in the nucleus and the ribosome is present in the cytoplasm. This is for a cell, right? For a cell, the ribosome is present and the DNA is present. Now, what is the function of DNA? DNA can replication, like it does the process of replication. And what is the function of like ribosomes? They do the process of protein synthesis. Now, chloroplasts and mitochondria, they have their own DNA and they have their own ribosomes, meaning they can replicate on their own and they can make their own proteins. Because of this very reason, the chloroplasts, they are known as semi-autonomous, meaning they can replicate or they can make their proteins on their own. Same goes for mitochondria. Mitochondria also can make their own, like uh, replicate on their own and make their own ribosome. Okay, so this is the reason why chloroplast and mitochondria are known as semi-autonomous organelles, because they contain their own DNA and ribosomes. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Now talking about the vacuoles. Now coming on to vacuoles. Now first tell me, do you think vacuoles are present in animals?
Um, yes, ma'am. It's in
Yes.
larger amount than compared to plant cells.
It's in larger amount. Opposite. It is present in animals sometimes, but For example, if you're talking about an animal, so vacuoles are present in much less number. They occupy a little of the animal cell as compared to the plant cell. Now, what are vacuoles? So the vacuoles, they are storage sacs that contains the liquid or solid constituent of the cell. So these are the cell organelles that are responsible for storage purpose. Whatever is extra, the plant puts it in the vacuoles and stores it in the cell. So vacuole does the function of storage. Now, the vacuoles of animals are of very small size, but they are very large in plants. And in the case of plants, the vacuole occupy 50 to 90% of the cell volume. Imagine 50 to 90%. For example, if this is the plant cell, okay, so this much space will be occupied by the vacuole. This will be the vacuole. Okay, and the plant stores the stuff inside the vacuole. Anything that has to be excreted out later on, or any extra food product, that gets stored in the vacuole. So vacuole is the storage sac, and it is in a huge amount and a larger size in the case of plants, and it is 50 to 90%. It takes up 50 to 90% cell volume in the plants. Another important thing to remember is that the membrane, okay, yes, one more thing. Talking about the vacuole, it is a unit membrane. It is a unit membrane structure. What do you mean by unit membrane structure? Unit means one, right? So the vacuole is surrounded by one layer. It is surrounded by one layer. Okay, and that one layer of the vacuole is known as the tonoplast. It has a proper name, and the name is tonoplast. Clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now you people can note down. Was there anything left before to take down? From
No,
my,
ma'am.
everything was noted down by you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can switch off your video, write comfortably.
Done, ma'am.
I'm done.
Ma'am, done.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Ma'am, done.
I'm done.
Everyone's done? Okay, very good.
No, ma'am.
Okay, everyone's done.
I'm done.
No, ma'am.
I'm done.
Okay, everyone's done. All right, now we will be tackling on the next topic, that is cell division. But before moving on to that topic, I just wanted to ask you people if there is any topic in the chapter that you have a problem in. Is there any topic that you want me to discuss again with you? Like
No, ma'am.
starting from. Hmm?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Okay, who can tell me the difference between the eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell?
Ma'am, prokaryotic cells are primitive, meanwhile, eukaryotic cells are true cells, and eukaryotic cells have well membrane bound organelles, meanwhile, prokaryotics doesn't, and uh, eukaryotics have chromatin, meanwhile, prokaryotics doesn't.
Hmm. But listen, always remember that first, while you're telling about eukaryotic and prokaryotic differences, remember one thing, that here the prokaryotes, they do not have membrane bound nucleus. Start with nucleus, not with organelles. Start with nucleus. That is the major difference in between them. Membrane bound organelle, or sorry, membrane bound nuclei, that is absent in prokaryotes while it is present in the eukaryotes. Okay, which cell is known as the powerhouse of the cell? Cell organelle actually. Which cell organelle? Hmm?
Mitochondria.
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 Yes, correct. Okay, and which part of the cell is known as the control house of the cell?
Nucleus.
Nucleus. Okay.
Okay, and which component of the cell is known as the protein factory?
Chromatic.
Protein
No,
factory.
no. Ma'am, endoplasmic reticulum.
Hmm?
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Which type of endoplasmic reticulum?
Ma'am, rough.
Why rough?
Ma'am, since it comes before the smooth endoplasmic reticulum.
Since it comes before. No, dear. There is one protein factory of our cell, and that is, it starts with an R.
Ribosome.
Yes, ribosome. Ribosome is responsible for protein synthesis. That is why for RER, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have ribosome present on it. That is why they look rough and they do protein synthesis. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, who can explain hypertonic solution to me and what happens to a cell in a hypertonic solution? Hypertonic. Explain it nicely. Who can do that?
Ma'am, can I?
Sure.
Ma'am, if the medium has a lower concentration of water than the cell, meaning that it is a very concentrated solution, the cell will lose water.
Wait. Your voice is not clear. I can't hear you.
Ma'am, if the medium has a lower concentration of water than the cell, meaning that it is a very concentrated solution, that cell will lose water by osmosis. Such solution is known as hypertonic solution.
Correct. You explained it in terms of water concentration. You can also explain it in terms of solute concentration, isn't it? When the
Yes, ma'am.
external environment has higher solute concentration, isn't it? So water concentration is less. So now the water from the cell will move out into the external environment. So if a cell is placed in a hypertonic solution, what will happen? The
The
cell
cell
will,
will shrink.
very good, the cell will shrink. And if it is placed in the hypotonic solution, then the
Will
cell will
swell up.
swell up. Very
Swell up.
good. Okay. Okay. The cell wall in the plants, it is made up of what?
Ma'am, cellulose.
Man
Very good.
cellulose.
Cellulose. And do you know what the cell wall of fungi is made up of?
Yes, ma'am.
The cell wall of fungi. What does it, like, what is it made up of?
Uh, Ma'am, I don't quite remember.
Anyone remembers?
No, I don't know.
It starts with a C. Okay, I'll tell you. It is chitin. Okay, chitin. Chitin is with what the cell wall of fungi is made up of. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. What? Okay. Does water follow the law of diffusion? Yes or no?
Ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
But the movement of water is known as,
Osmosis.
Osmosis.
what actually is the law of diffusion, students?
And when a molecules moves from a lower concentration to a higher concentration.
From high to low. Always. For diffusion, the molecules or the substances will move from a region of their higher concentration to the region of their lower concentration, not from low to high, always from high to low. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the function of cell wall, students?
Ma'am, it provides protection
It
against the
provides a
harsh
protection.
climate outside the
Okay.
plant.
Okay. And
Ma'am, it makes up a particular structure that holds this cell together.
it provides rigidity to the cell. It makes the cell rigid.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, yes. Tell me this thing, students. Why do we need to stain the cells?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do we need to stain the cells?
Stain, ma'am.
Why do we need to stain the cell? Stain.
Ma'am, to identify the organelles because some cells are transparent in nature.
Yes. Not to actually identify, to visualize, to see it, because they are all colorless. They are all transparent. So that is why we add color. Okay. So for staining the cells, which type of dyes do you use? Do you remember any names of the dyes?
Saffron.
Saffronin. Saffronin. Then
Ma'am,
methylene.
methylene blue.
Hmm. Correct. Okay. Now, apart from the plants, what other organisms have cell wall?
Ma'am, fungi.
And
Fine.
one more.
Algae.
Yeah, algae
Al-
also does. Yes, algae also does. And the most primitive organism, the most primitive,
Bacteria.
bacteria.
Bacteria. Okay.
Very good. Yes, bacteria. All right. Okay. How many membrane does the nucleus have? Is nucleus a membrane bound organelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How many membranes are surrounding the nucleus?
Ma'am,
Two.
one nuclear membrane.
Two.
Outer, inner. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is the full? Okay. What is the energy currency of the cell? Hmm?
Uh,
Hmm. Energy currency. Energy currency of the cell is ATP.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Does anyone know the full form of ATP?
Ma'am, endocyne triphosphate.
Exactly. Okay. And what is the full form of DNA?
Ma'am, it's
Hmm.
Mad stands for deoxyribonucleic acid.
Very good. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. Okay. Which part of the cell is known as the arena for all activities? Which part of the cell is known as the arena for all cellular activities? Hmm? Tell me, students, which cell organelle or the part of the cell is known as the arena for cellular activities?
ma'am that covers all the cell organelles.
Hmm.
The cytoplasm.
The cytoplasm. Okay. Okay, tell me what is the function of lysosome?
Ma'am,
No, we haven't studied lysosome yet, right?
No, ma'am.
Have we studied it? I don't think so. Okay, leave that. Okay, tell me, what is the function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Hmm? Function of smooth
Ma'am,
endoplasmic.
it detoxifies poisons.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay. Now we know that mitochondria synthesizes ATP, isn't it? Apart from synthesizing ATP, what does it do? Like mitochondria is the site of what?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Hmm. Apart from synthesizing ATP, mitochondria is the site of what kind of activity?
Ma'am, it gives.
Hmm?
Ma'am, it holds the DNAs.
No, that is for
ma'am,
nucleus.
ma'am, it provides energy.
Yes, it does provide energy. You are right. But apart from that, there is one kind of thing or one kind of reaction that happens in the mitochondria. What is that
And
reaction?
diffusion. And diffusion.
No, not diffusion.
No, okay.
It is aerobic respiration. Okay, aerobic respiration happens in mitochondria. Okay, it is the site for aerobic respiration. Okay, tell me this thing. Who discovered Golgi apparatus?
Camilla Golgi. Camilla Golgi.
Okay, very good. Okay, good students. I'm very happy. You all are studying very nicely, huh? Very good to all of you. Okay. Now we'll talk about the next topic, that is the cell division. Today I will give you the introduction for cell division. Now see, whenever in our body any new types of cells are required, that cell is synthesized by the process of cell division. So cell division is the process of formation of new cells from the old cells. Okay. So the old cells, they will give rise to the new cells. Now what is the need of cell division? Cell division is required to replace the old and dead cells. It is also used to form gametes that are used for reproduction. So it is used to replace the old and dead cells because every cell has a lifespan. Okay, it lives for that period of time and then that cell dies. Then to replace that cell, there comes the new cell. And where does the new cell come from? It comes from the process of cell division. Do people understand what cell division means?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And we need cell division whenever we need new cells, whenever we need to replace the old cells, and whenever we need gametes for reproduction. So for all these reasons, cell division is very necessary. Now tell me, what do you think? Does cell division takes place in animal cell?
Yes.
Yes,
Ma'am, through budding.
Yes.
yes, it does takes place in animal cell. Budding is also one method, but budding is not actually the cell division type. Cell division is of two types. Okay. Cell division is of two types, and those two types are mitosis and meiosis. We will discuss each one of them in depth, but for now, you must understand that the cell division is of two types. It is mitosis and meiosis. And cell division takes place in all the cells, whether it is plant cell, animal cell, fungi, everywhere cell division will take place. Okay, both the kinds. Mitosis takes place at different locations, or you can say at different times, and meiosis will take place at different times. But both the type of cell divisions will be taking place in the plants, in the animals, and also fungi and bacteria. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, students, now you can note down till here. You don't have to write down diploid, haploid right now. You can note down till here, and that is it. In the next class, we'll continue from here. But first, you note down and tell me if did you understand the cell division, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you can note it down.
Ma'am, is binary fission under the cell division?
No, dear. Binary fission is a method of reproduction.
Okay,
It is
ma'am.
asexual reproduction. Yes. Cell division is not actually a method of reproduction. It is the way by which new cells are formed. Okay.
No, ma'am.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Okay, very good, students. Okay, so we'll keep it till here only. Now, in the next class, we'll start with how mitosis takes place, then how meiosis takes place. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the homework will be sent. So you people do the homework. Okay, do it nicely and upload the PDF. And if you have any doubt,